Hey there. So first question, hydrosulfuric acid is a weak acid since it dot dot dot, and we fill in the most, I guess the most valid answer, the correct answer. Typically, tests and quizzes ask for what is the best answer for this. So keep in mind there might be one good answer and then an even better answer, but it depends on how sneaky your teachers are. Anyway, looking at option A, always has a pH of 7. What do we know about pH of 7? That's actually a neutral solution. It's neither acidic or basic, so we can actually rule that out. I like to just put an N for no, just so I know I ruled that out as an option, or I could put an X or a check mark, and whatever um, fancies you there. It's just a way to keep track of how you're answering these. Because when you go back and look at your test, you might wonder, why did I answer that way? Part B, we have ionizes 100% in water. So we know this applies to weak acids. I'm sorry, not weak acids, but strong acids and strong bases. All right. So we know strong acids and strong bases, when you put them in water, they completely dissociate to their respective ions. So for instance, HCl, you put it into water, it's going to break up into H plus and Cl minus. H plus goes on to be H3O, and there you have it. So no, we don't have complete ionization, or ionizes 100% in water. That's a false statement. C only neutralizes strong bases. So only, that might, that should send up a red flag whenever you see only or always, never, right? Some very stringent criteria for that answer. We need to look at what's going on here as far as neutralizing a strong base. We can actually have, so we have options, right? We're not just restricted to taking a strong base and a strong acid and neutralizing them. You could have a strong acid and a weak base. You could have a strong base and a weak acid put together for neutralization. I guess theoretically you could have a weak acid and a weak base put together as well. I would say the more common examples you'll see are strong acid and strong base put together, and a strong acid weak base, or a strong base and a weak acid. Those are the most common ones that come to mind in general chemistry. So this is actually false. That is a false statement. I think that might trip students up. D, slightly ionized in water. Okay, that makes sense. I think that would probably be the best answer, as long as we check option E to make sure it's not a better answer. We know again that weak acids and weak bases, they dissolve, or not dissolve, sorry, they dissociate partially in water solution. Part E says does not ionize in water. Okay, well, we know that's not the case. We actually have partial or slight ionization. So I'm just gonna put yes, no, circle D, and that's the answer for question 1.